Hi, welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And this is the show that demystifies technology and tells you all the geeky things that you need to know to make your technology life better. It's true, you know. Today on the show, we're going to demystify a term that you may have heard around your geek friends. It's NAS or
NAS.
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 NAS. Sounds like sheep that are upset.
NAS.
But no, it's an important term. NAS. Network attached storage. So today we're going to explain what that is, why you care, and how your local sheep can use it.
You know, I actually was at a farm recently. I always thought it was a joke that sheep said "ba." Mm-hmm. They do.
They really do.
They do, but you know what? They say it a lot louder than you'd think.
Really?
Yeah, I think I even have a video clip.
What are you doing going to farms shooting sheep? Ah! This is strange, man. All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to demystify NAS, Network Attached Storage. That's today on Lab Rats. NAS!
And we're back at it.
Okay, so let's talk about the network attached storage. What the heck is it?
Well, you remember our episode a few episodes back on network printing, right?
Yes.
And you remember why we did that?
No.
No? Do you want me to tell you?
Please.
All right, so we talked about network printers that attach to your network so that you can actually print to them from any computer anywhere in the house,
Right.
Either wirelessly or over one of these wires here. So it makes it more convenient to have it located wherever you have space for it rather than always attached to the computer.
Right.
All right? So network attached storage
Yes.
is similar in concept. Now you have a bunch of storage, a bunch of hard drive space in a device like this, anywhere in the house that you want it. Right, so I mean, you've got a notebook computer. What's the hard drive size on it?
160 gigs.
160 gigs. Sounds like a lot, but when you start putting movies on it and a bunch of music and all your documents,
My sheep
and all
videos
of that,
take up half
your
of
sheep
that.
videos.
They do.
Yeah, so you run out of space pretty quickly, right? And you've got all of these files on here. Say your kids want to see your sheep videos
Of course they do.
from their computer in the other room. What do they got to do right now? They got to come up to your office.
My bedroom.
Up to your bedroom, and this episode has gone off the rails quicker than any other episode
Open my laptop,
ever. Yeah. Anyways, so they have to go to where the data is at this point, whichever computer it's on. So people want to share files around the house, whether it's your TV, your music, or whatever, and they can now do it with something called network attached storage. Now, instead of leaving it all on the computer, you can put it
On a device that's on the
device.
network. So you can access it so if all the computers are off except yours, and this is in the basement, you can access the storage in here through the home network.
Exactly, and you can all share it.
You know what it's useful for is, besides sheep videos, it's really good for music.
It's great for music, and that's exactly why I've been using one of these things in my own home for the last little while, is I have a big music library.
Do you have all of Cyndi Lauper's greatest hits?
No, we already talked about that a few episodes back too.
Yeah, but you have all of your music.
I have all of my music, and I've put it onto a NAS, because now not only can I listen to it on my notebook, I can listen to it on my big computer tower. I can actually let my wife listen to it in the other room. We can stream it to other devices around the home network that are music-centric. So like one of Linksys' devices, perhaps, that can pull from a shared folder, it can now pull it from the NAS.
I am sold. What a great technology. Fantastic.
All right.
So how do we do it? What do we need?
Well, you need a NAS. So the NAS is the shorthand name for the device itself. So
Network
we've got
attached storage.
Network attached storage. So we've got a couple of options here on the desk. One of them right here is the MicroNet. It's called a Platinum NAS. Now this was out a couple years ago, and you'll notice we'll flip it around to the back first, and this is the important part, is you've got a plug over here for network.
Network
ports.
in, yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually connect that into your network. So you have your router over in the office.
Where's the router?
The router is right here. So we've got the router. It's over here in the office, and we now want to pop this into the spot beside the router and connect it with a cable.
Okay, got it.
Right. So now it can connect to that and then spread the information all the way through the house. So the other thing about this, obviously, you can't just get away with nothing but a network port. You need the hard drives now.
Right. So this is really is a device. It's like a mini computer, I suppose, that can read hard drives.
Yeah, it's a server is what
server.
it is. So people that are familiar with the server at the office, where it saves all of the work for everyone in the company, same sort of thing. So each of these devices has a hard drive.
Whoa, dude,
So
cool.
We've got 4 different drives in this right here. So any of these are come out, and in this case, they're hot swappable. So
you
now-
can pull them out live as you're using the device.
Yeah, you can if it's hot swappable. It's not necessarily recommended. If you're writing to it at the time, it can cause some big problems. But say one of these drives in here fails, and you don't have to get one that has 4 drives in it. You can buy something from D-Link or Linksys that has
This is
less
one, right?
drives in.
Yeah.
You can even buy one that's all in one that you don't even have access to the drive. So I've got a Western Digital one at home that is 750 gigabytes, all enclosed. I have no access to the drive. I don't need it. All I need access to is the Ethernet port on the back
Cool.
for connecting it to the network.
All right. So these things come, so the case doesn't necessarily come with the hard drive.
No.
Sometimes some solutions do, I would imagine. Now, so I guess there's a variety of different ways that you can access the NAS, or you can implement a NAS, right? This sort of must be all-in-one packages, must be expandable packages.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the Microsoft Home Server.
Yeah, the Microsoft Home Server. Now this one right here is its own little flavor of server. It has a web page that you can connect to, do some configuration, has a CD. All of them come with a CD that you can use to configure the thing to work with your computer.
Yep.
Each of them comes with up to 4 drives in them, depending on how many slots you have on this.
Right.
This one right here is Acer's new one. It's called the Easy Share.
Yeah.
And this one came with 1 terabyte on board in one of the slots.
Wow.
And you can actually fill that up again. This one, the door opens here, and we've got 4 different bays here that you can pull out and
Wow.
install. This top one right here, actually, if I can do this backwards, you can see this. This one right here is empty, so
Yeah.
I can actually put another drive into that just by sticking it in here and then sliding it back in. All right?
Easy. Yeah.
If you've got one of those things.
Very cool.
Okay, and since this one is Windows home server, it actually has a little version of Windows running right on
does,
here.
yeah.
So it's about $499 for this with the 1 terabyte.
No kidding.
And it's a little bit pricey, but not as pricey
I
as
don't know
this
about
has
that.
been in the past.
I mean, these used to be business solutions.
Right.
This used to be tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and I mean, when this one came into my life a couple years ago, it was about $2,000 all
Right.
tripped out.
Right.
And I mean, if you get it with all 4 bays filled up with 1.5 terabyte drives, then it gets really pricey, right?
Yeah.
But you can always add them yourself. But starting at $499 for 1 terabyte, that's not bad.
Right. Okay, so I need one of these solutions. I need a home network. I need a bunch of cables. Now, do I need software to install on this to make these all to access? Because once upon a time, network attached storage was a pain because you had to install a piece of software on every computer on the network to access it.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. It's not 100% necessary. Like I said, each of them comes with software here. We've got the software installation disk here. We've got a recovery disk, and we've got a PC recovery disk. So they can be used for backing up the machines as well in your household rather than just straight data. So
Well, you bring up a good point too. So this is a great solution to basically keep your data safe
Yes.
from all your machines. You just drip the backup into the network attached storage device, and then you have a permanent backup from all the machines in your house.
Exactly, and that's one of the things the Acer's set up to do, is it not only has pre-shared folders set up for music, for photos, for videos, but it also has a backup program that will automatically back up. So when you install this on the computer, which you don't have to get something out of this, but when you do that, it creates this little interface between your computer and that allows it to back it up automatically over the network.
Right. Do you have a little demo for us?
Well, this one right here, you just install this. I'm not going to go through that whole process, but I'll show you how it looks on this end. So we've got a Windows machine over here. So you click on Shared Folders on Server here, which it's set up ahead of time. And now you see you've got all of these little folders here set up. So you've got music, photos, public, recorded TV, users, software, videos. Those are the ones that are pre-populated on here. Now you can set up user accounts for me, you, Biff, Boo, Keepka. All of these different users can have access to their own slice of this, but have shared access to folders that you designate as shared.
Right.
So we can get onto it that way and just open up the folders and look to see what's inside. In this case, we've got a whole pile of folders in our music folder that are available for anyone to download and listen to. Now, there's also a control program that you can use on this that is the Windows Home Server console, because this is the Windows Home Server. So you open this up, you'll type in your password, and once you type in the password, it will log into this device. Again, it's a full server, and it's making connection to that device and saying, I'm allowed to interact with this. All right, now you see that the console has logged in here, and we have access to all of these new features. Now it has shared folders. This is where we can set up the backup of these computers. I've got user accounts here. You notice this is G4 Tech TV because I still had this machine when I was still working on the lab.
Right.
And earlier. But so we can back up that machine to the drive. We can add user accounts. It gives us a little bit of information on how this works. And you can see a very Windows-centric kind of design here in the styling of the dialog boxes. We set up shared folders, see who's got access to each of them, and we can add extra folders if we like. And this right here is server storage. We see we have 3 drives in here, so you can actually expand this on the fly. So when we're looking at something like this one, which uses RAID, it's not as easy as just necessarily adding another drive and reconfiguring it. In certain cases, that will end up ruining the entire configuration that you have. You have to reformat it for that new configuration. In this case, it's just as simple as pulling out the drawer, adding the new drive, and in you go.
Cool.
And adding to that.
So Microsoft really worked hard at making this, the home server, easy to use.
Yeah, it's just, it's really, really surprisingly good. I was thinking to myself, okay, well, putting Windows on something else, that's not been working out well for Windows in a lot of cases lately, but this seems to be working perfectly fine. It's a little bit slow sometimes because of the network.
Yeah. And we should mention, actually, that network-attached storage is one of those technologies that it won't work as fast as your typical hard drive in a machine because, of course, the data is going to travel over a cable. And even if you have a network that's 1 gigabit, and most networks are 100 megabit.
Yeah, especially if you're wireless.
If you're wireless, it's slow. That accessing that data is sometimes going to be a bit slow. So that's one drawback of the NAS.
It's definitely a lot slower than your regular hard drive inside the machine. And if you're backing up to that, just go away overnight and come back in the morning and it might still be chugging away.
Right. Okay.
And the other nice thing about this is it has access to McAfee total protection, so it gives you some virus protection here.
Built in.
And it actually has, on Windows, it has the little shield that pops up if there's something wrong with your system. This one has a little notice right here that says network critical. And actually, if you look on the front here, it actually has a red light down here on the eye. It's flashing red to say something you got to pay attention to here. So there's a new update available. I know that already, and that's why it's sitting there red.
Cool.
So I said you don't need the software for this in all cases. I know the password and the username for this. So if I go over to the Mac side of the equation, it is usable with Mac, even though it is a Windows device. So if I go into my shared folders over here, we notice all the other machines on the network, and one of them right here is Aspire Home, which is this device right here. So it's going to try to connect automatically when you click on it, but because I don't have the default username and password set properly in here already, it's going to fail. As you can see right here, it says connection failed. But if you click Connect As, and you know the username and password that you've set on this thing, but the default one even, then it will bring up a login box like so. In this case, it is my name as the username to add, and then the password. I'll type in there, and what it's going to do after I hit connect, it'll bring up the shared folders here. And if I click on here on the music, it'll go searching again. It'll be a little bit slower to react than it will be if it's on your own hard drive, because it's actually querying, saying, oh, what are all the files on here? And then it'll bring the listing back to you. One really nice touch about this, because I use it for music, is if I go over to iTunes, it'll automatically appear as a shared drive in the iTunes sidebar. So all of the things that are in that folder, no matter whether I configure them for this or not, I can just dump all of these folders of my music into that folder. There it is. It'll all appear in iTunes around the house as a shared streamable bunch of music.
That's awesome. There you go.
So there you go.
NAS, network attached storage. Nothing to do with sheep. No, really, no. All right, well, let's take a break. When we come back, we have our usual picture time and our show previews and all kinds of stuff. So stay with us. We'll be back after this. So we want to show you one of the shows on Butterscotch, actually a brand new show called The Sweet Stuff, where we kind of take some of our experts and they look at really cool technologies. We have Stacy Reed, who's doing a series called Web 2.0 on the sweet stuff. So let's take a look at one of the episodes she's done recently. And when we come back, picture time.
Welcome on deck. I'm Matt Harris.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman.
Welcome to the A-List.
Hi, welcome to Miss Download.
Now, PhotoFlexer claims to be the most advanced photo editor on the web. Without even requiring a login and pass, this site lets you edit your photo using a wide array of presets and options. From the basics like cropping and resizing, to even animations and distortions. You can even work with layers. You can then save your edited image to your hard drive or a number of social networks including Facebook, Picasa, Flickr, PhotoBucket, MySpace.
Well, it's picture time again. Yay!
Wait,
my favorite.
why am I doing the picture time dance? This is your job.
You've inherited it. It's good. It's actually better than sheep. Picture time. We love picture time. So who do we have today, Mr. Carruthers?
Well, we have two pictures for you today, both from our viewer Nick,
Yes.
and they're his niece and nephew.
Ooh.
First, we have his niece, Kalan.
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 Oh, interesting name.
It is a bit different. He gave us pronunciation tips on this one,
Oh, very good.
thankfully.
Kalan. Yeah.
There you go.
Otherwise, we would pronounce it what? Colon?
No, it wasn't spelt that way, but I think Kalan you might have pronounced it as.
Okay.
So, but it's Kalan.
He's a cutie.
Yes, and we also have his nephew, Damien.
Oh, not such a happy camper.
He's a bit grumpy,
It's like my face on Monday mornings.
or it's like my face
Hey,
after
Matt, it's like my general manager face.
It is indeed.
This is my face after working with him for an episode.
There you go, see? Oh, the bobber. Well, he's cute, though. It's fine.
So,
What was his name?
Damien.
Damien.
So thank you, Nick, for sending that along.
Thanks, that's awesome.
There we go.
Okay, good. Now, good episode today. I like anything that references sheep. That's always good.
Bah!
Bah, NAS. And so, do you have any final thoughts on that topic?
Well, I do have a couple of quick things. Now, number one, we briefly touched on the concept of RAID.
RAID, yes.
Yeah, and this Acer one isn't RAID. Other ones are. Now, what that means is it gives you the ability to span the drives into one gigantic drive, if you like,
Yep.
or to mirror them so that you actually have two copies of it on the NAS.
So if one goes, the other one's
Right.
okay.
Yeah, and then there's another format called RAID 5 that actually doubles it and makes it bigger. So, you know, there's a lot of ground to cover in RAID, and we don't want to go over that today, but we did an episode in the past on RAID, so go check that out. It actually has sandwiches.
That's right. It's a good
so-
episode. Check that out. RAID sandwich with sandwiches.
Now, the other question is how big can you go? And it really depends on the device. If you buy one of the ones that it comes enclosed already, just a consumer-friendly one, you might get a terabyte, 1.5 terabyte, depending on what's inside. These ones that are do-it-yourself right now, and again, depends on the configuration and how much you put into it in terms of RAID. There's 4 slots in here, so we can put 4 1.5 terabyte drives in
Wow.
there right now. So that's about 6
Terabytes of data. Yo.
Right, and if you set it up in RAID format, if you do it spanned, it's about 6. If you mirror it, it's 3, and somewhere between the two if you do use RAID 5.
Right.
So that's kind of your maximum as we tape this, but there's going to be 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte drives
That's
anytime
pretty
now
soon, yeah.
potentially. So,
It's NAS-tastic.
and the one extra thing about a lot of these is they actually sport the ability to expand them out even further using. You can see at the bottom we've got USB drives or ports here, so you can actually add an external drive
All right, so you
into
can
this.
daisy chain them together?
Daisy chain them and
Cool.
just keep expanding it. And we've also got an eSATA port down here too, which means you can use another external drive with
Very
this.
cool.
So there's tons of expansion capabilities in a lot of these.
You're the NAS master, I tell you. All right, well, let's say goodbye. You can find out the show notes about this episode at butterscotch.com/labrats, episode number 176. And other than that, my name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
He's the NAS master, and we'll see you next time.
Are you ready? Try this at home.
It's NAS or
NAS.
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 Sounds like sheep that are upset. Bah! NAS! Bah! Bah!